This is Business and Economy Network.
Do you know the strategic importance of economy looking at election period is very key, very critical? And the question begging for answers. The gladiators, the regulators, what do they do during this period? Does everybody abandon the economy and begin to campaign? That's the question. Welcome to your program. My name is Peter Moche, and you are watching Business and Economy Network. Those of you watching us in faraway Abuja, Port Harcourt, Ilori, Kano, Kaduna, Sokoto, Ghana, London via the online channels, I want to say thank you so very much. Like I did said, election is fast approaching. Campaign will soon commence. What's going to happen to our economy? And we have gladiators, operators who are brought in to talk more about what they are doing to enhance the Nigerian economy. For the program rundown this week, for Company in Focus, we have the GMD of SAHARA Power Group, owners of Igbi Power Plant, and also Ikeja Distribution Company. And for Spotlight, we have the founder and GMD of Elephant Group PLC, saddled with food security, and they are also into rice production massively in Nigeria. Not left out for Straight Talk, we have the president of BEEPMAGNET International Group and his colleague telling us about the new product they are introducing into the Nigerian market and to the world at large. Talking about CC Box. It's going to be an interesting watch. Relax yourself, brace up, because it's going to be deep, it's going to be incisive, and I assure you it's going to be very educative. I'll be back after this time out.
Mirapain is a household name in Nigeria. It's a gel indicated for quick relief of pain. Mirapain is a combination of 4 active ingredients: diclofenac sodium, linseed oil, methyl salicylate, and menthol. These 4 ingredients are specially blended and formulated together to bring the desired pain relief. Mirapain is for both adults and children. 2 to 8 Success Estate off Brentfield Avenue, Okeafa, Magboro, Ogun State. P.O. Box 977 Ikeja, Lagos. Available in all registered pharmaceutical shops nationwide.
Mr. Kola Additional serves as the chairman of Igbi Power PLC and doubles as the group managing director of SAHARA Energy Group. SAHARA started its business actively in 2001 through a very strategic role of coming very handy and relevant to the supply of premium motor spirits for an Abuja power project. Businesses of SAHARA Energy are upstream, midstream, downstream, power and infrastructure. SAHARA Energy has been able to sustain and oil necessary and needed relationships with partners, having a rich human resources, strategic and creative managers, which has actually earned it an enviable position in Nigeria. SAHARA Energy today prides itself to be able to tell a successful African story to international audience as a success, which is one of its driving force.
We started actually in 2001 when we had the privilege of supplying fuel to the emergency power plant project in Abuja. Abuja used to have an EPP project, with that emergency power project, where about 45 megawatts of electricity was being deployed into the Abuja metropolis area, and were the ones that provided fuel for those machines that were brought in by Agreco and Geometric. And we did that for about 3 years. After that, we went full blast into developing relationship for the purpose of repairs, rehabilitation, and O&M of different plants. And we were able to nurture good relationship with the Koreans. We rehabilitated the Igbi boilers that were down. It blew for a considerable length of time. They were not available, so we were able to get those turbines active again, and since then we've gone this far. But by way of a very funny divine relationship, I had the privilege of going to Igbi Power Plant to read, to study, because then they were just constructing the plant in 1980, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, and 6 respectively, when the different turbines were commissioned. So about that period when the plant was undergoing construction, I used to go there to read, and then I was fascinated by the project I saw, you know, the enormity, the size of the plant, and the fact that the economic prosperity of Nigeria was heavily dependent on EGMI at that material time. So for me as an individual, that's the first relationship I had with EGMI. Now the second relationship I again had was the repair of the boilers. Like I said, we were able to successfully rehabilitate those boilers in partnership with Korea Electric Power Corporation, KEPCO. And we did it for a very cheap amount, so to speak, at that material time, because what was being offered elsewhere was about $44 million, but we were able to fix the plant with $27.4 million. And those boilers are still working between 2007 and now. Whilst we were doing the boiler repairs, some of the things that eventually happened was that we felt it's necessary and imperative for a Nigerian enterprise to take over the leading and leadership role in electricity generation. We expressed interest to acquire EGMI Power PLC. We suffered a long delay for about 6 years until we were able to take over the plant November 1st, 2013. And as at the time we were taking over the plant was doing 400 megawatts into the grid. So we needed to spend a lot of money to rehabilitate the turbines that were out. So we've been able to uplift that plant to 1,100 between the time of acquisition and now. Ordinarily, 2 other things that should have happened that didn't happen based on the economic reality was the fact that we would have concluded upgrading it to the fullest capacity possible, and that's 1,320, that's the installed capacity. And equally, we ordinarily ought to have begun the commencement of EGMI 2, which is a bigger power plant, a far more technologically wired plant. A nation of about 200 million people that generates on a daily basis average of 4,000 megawatts. We're not there. And when you have the likes of South Africa doing 44,000, 48,000 with a population of just barely 50 million, then it speaks volume to the gap that we need to quickly close and close it urgently. We are not where we're meant to be as a nation. And the reasons for this are not far-fetched. I'll give some to you straight away. Electricity is a science and it's engineering put together. So if it's a product that has exactitude behind it, it invariably means that if those things that are required for continuous supply of electricity, availability of power, reliability of power, safety of power, and the rest of them, if they are not there, it's not magical. You can't have it. As you lay your bed, so you lie on it. So the problem first is that, do we have a plan to electrify Nigeria? If that plan is there any alignment amongst all the constituent parts within the value chain of electricity delivery in the country? Because without alignment, you can't have an healthy system. In the last 25 years or so, part of what you're going to see is that we don't have consistent policies. As administration changes, so do policy change. So when the policies are somersaulting, you can naturally get no result but a result that is not coherent. So for you to have a purpose-driven, consistent, credible, and a coherent electricity system, you need to align. And in alignment, you need to align the technical, the commercial, the legal, and the financial framework to be able to deliver electricity. The value chain must be thoroughly analyzed from the standpoint of if it's gas-fired, gas itself, where is the gas, where is the power plant, the evacuation system, is it in the right place? The market itself, the off-taker, are they close to where the power plant is? So these are all that needs to come together. Now lastly, if you don't have cost recovery arrangements in place, you can't have steady power. I've heard commentaries suggestive of sentimental push for power. Sentiments can't make electricity available. No. There must be a plan activated with efficient implementation, monitored to ensure there is compliance, and then you will have steady electricity available.
Mr. Tunji Owoye is the founder, Group Managing Director, Elephant Group PLC, a firm that started up as an export agro-commodity business but presently has dedicated its resources largely to the business of food production, processing, marketing, and distribution of agro-commodities, especially cassava and rice. This is the firm's quota to ensure food sufficiency in Nigeria. In a chat with the founder and chairman, who shared that there is a need to close the gap between the high growing rate of population in Nigeria and the level of food production. Outstanding products from Elephant Group are Elephant Fertilizer, Elephant High Quality Cassava Flour, Elephant Gold, Elephant Pride Rice that has become popular household brands across the country.
Our population grows at a rate of about 3 to 5% annually. And with that daily growth in population, there's a lot of catch-up that you need to have on consumption. We know that, yes, at some point in time, about 5 years back, the consumption was about 5 million tons, and it kept growing, not only because of population, but because of taste, because of ability to purchase, by consumers, and because of what I would call cosmopolitan, attitudes of our people. People that, from the part of Southwest I came from, that ordinarily would take rice probably on Sunday or weekends before for parties, they now do rice every day, so instead of doing pounded yam every day, morning, afternoon. So, and these are the kind of attitudinal changes that we have across the country. Don't forget that we have more and more people are more and more educated, enlightened. People run away from heavy foods and begin to. So all of these have increased the consumption pattern for rice. And so what we're having today is that production and milling is chasing, the attendant growing population of rice consumers. So that's why you see have a gap. The gap will continue to be there, except there's a conscious effort to begin to look at export. When we begin, we may not achieve that in 2-3 years, but I believe at some point in time, with the consistency in the policy, in the political world, in the stakeholders' activities and all of that, and in support we have from the DF, especially the kind of support you're getting from the likes of Central Bank and other very DFIs who believe so much in, I don't like to call it backwards integration, but begin to see that we can create so much value in this movement. I believe that that gap will be closed shortly. In terms of production of paddy, we've almost gotten there. Quite frankly, there's been a lot of ramp up in production of paddy. In terms of milling capacity, yes, we need to still do some work. I believe that from what we see in the market today, other than the limitations of a floods that came in this year, in under 1 year or 18 months or max of 2 years, yes, we should be fully self-sufficient because the production had gone significantly up. And I'll give you some statistics. Prior to 2013, 2014, planting and harvest year, we used to have, from the statistics available to us, less than 1 million tons of paddy production in this country. But over the years, between 2014, and thanks be to both governments, the two governments, because they've seen the need, and lots of thanks to Central Bank of Nigeria because they identified the challenges and they've come with a lot of muscle to support the entire value chain. So what we've seen between then is 2014 and today, production of paddy have moved up from about 1.5 million tons to close to 13, 14 million tons of paddy. That's the truth. But don't forget that paddy production does not result in the same quantity of rice milling. You're going to have averagely about 60% yield from and of course we still have quite a lot of challenges between farm gate and milling points. We have problems of storage. We have a few problems of security here and there. We have problems of pre- and post-harvest losses that takes up a lot of this paddy production. So we're almost there, and it's no fluke. There's a need for lots of information, for our people, especially for those in the rural areas, to know that, yes, they can access this. And you see, when you're talking about lending, the lenders want structure. The lender wants to be comfortable to be able to get back their money when it is due. And the limitation around that is that a lot of our farmers don't have a structure that the lenders expect to have. So, which makes lending at those, privileged terms a bit difficult. Yes, of course, today, there are transactions, there are facilities at single digit. We are beneficiaries of single digit. Not even before the minister, Central Bank have been doing, single digit lending to support, to intervene in all of this value chain. But with the one that the Minister of Agriculture said, it's also because he's also passionate about it. So working all of this together, I know that it's going to help operators. Yes, there are lots of, through those medium, the DFIs. I mean, you can't go to the banks today, commercial banks today, and say you want single-digit rates. Don't forget that they also are custodians of customers' funds who probably they wouldn't have gotten at single digits. But with the pronouncement by Central Bank that they're supporting agriculture and agribusinesses and manufacturing at single digits. So what Central Bank is trying to do is to try to, be a catalyst in ensuring that, okay, we're going to leverage on, they're leveraging on, one, their capacity to lend, and then they're supporting banks by giving them the cash flow to lend to those people in this sector so that they can on-lend into the industry. I think it has a big multiplier effect in the economy. It's a bold move, I must tell you. It's a bold move that we've not seen in a long time in this country.
BEEPMAGNET Group is actually a technology-based organization, and our focus is actually to use blockchain technology to actually provide solution to a lot of problems that is actually affecting the economy today. The group have actually segmented its business focus to cut across various problems, and these problems include things related to women. It also includes things related to payment, and then we are also looking at things related to loyalty. This is actually the driving force of our group, and we are committed to see to it that Africa is touched positively, so that together we can actually create impact and then bring proper governance to world economy. CC Box is actually a tool for our group to actually penetrate the female community. We believe that women is a stronger me, and in order for us to penetrate that segment of the market, our team had to research critically and see what is that particular thing that is connecting all women, irrespective of their race, their tribe, and their culture. And then the solution we found out was something connected with their menstrual cycle. So CC Box, if you look at it, is a combination of both a local dialect and then also English. So CC is actually a Yoruba name, which means woman, and then the box is actually denotes more like a kit. So what we are really saying is that we have been able to put together an all-in-one kit that every woman, irrespective of your status, your class, you actually need it. So what we have done with the CC Box is that from the economic point of view, we have said, what is it that every woman experiences, at least all things being equal, up to 40 years? That is that menstrual cycle. But the unique thing is that this same menstrual cycle is something that comes with discomfort. But we have been able to package a unique product that not only will make you comfortable, it will also make you financially independent. The long and short story of what we are doing from the technology point from our group is that it is going to attract women into blockchain technology. Being a member of the BEEPMAGNET group, our interest in the CC Box brand is from the blockchain technology point of view. The women, of course, as we know, are a large army, and the woman is the educator. The woman is the teacher and trainer of the household. So if we can find a way to get the woman to embrace blockchain technology, then we can get the entire family to come to understand, appreciate, and be a part of blockchain technology. And then the next generation can actually now penetrate and be a part of that. So for us, coming from BP International, what we provide to CC Box is our blockchain as a way of rewarding the loyalty of CC Box customers. So every subscriber or every user of the CC Box product gets an introduction to our blockchain. We say thank you to them. CC Box says thank you to them by giving them a certain amount of the tokens of our BMC coin. So every woman who experiences and integrate and experience CC Box also get a chance to get introduced and actually own a certain amount of the BMC token. I fell in love with the CC Box brand when I first saw it, and that's why I'm comfortable to put my face and my name behind it. Actually, my wife uses it. I am not a woman, but I'm proud to be identified with a brand that's going to empower the average woman. As long as a woman undergoes this process, which every woman does, then we are giving them power. When the woman is empowered, the husband is free. And so for the man folk, the idea is to give our women power so that we can now have our freedom. But what is of most important to us is the fact that we want the family to actually come to understand and play in the blockchain space. These tokens that we're giving to all subscribers of CC Box will become that thing that can be passed on to the future generation. And so in the long run, the children to be born into every family will come to say thank you to mommy. It's not just about using the sanitary pad, using the pant liners and the ovulation test kit. The BMC token that is given to every woman who actually subscribes to our product becomes something that can be transferred to the future generation. And for that, there will be immediate value for it. And in the future, as the value of this currency grows, there is also capital appreciation that is passed down the line. So every man should be a part of it, because if you empower your wife, if you empower your girlfriend, you are empowering the next generation. Not just with CC Box, but getting them introduced to blockchain technology.
CC Box is a subscription service for female hygiene products. We at CC Box, we offer sanitary hygiene products such as the pads, panty liners, and the ovulation test strip in one package. So what we give you is the optimum products that women need for their menstrual hygiene. And we have done a lot of research and come up with a product that encapsulates everything that a woman will want during her period, which is to eliminate pain, to remove odor, and to have comfort. So our pad has all this encapsulated in it, and so far it's the best in the market. This can be found everywhere in the market. We currently have distributors nationwide. We're also working to get affiliates. We run a model of affiliate marketing. So once someone is subscribed onto our website, you become an affiliate, and the more you introduce people, you earn money. So that's where we're talking about the empowerment part of CC Box. So anybody can be a vendor. Once you register on the website, we have pickup centers nationwide. We have distributors in the market space. So wherever you are, online and offline, you can purchase our products.
This is Business and Economy Network.
Well, yeah, this is where time will permit us, and this is where we'll draw the wrap of the program this particular week. But always remember this: your happiness starts with you. You must stop complaining. We mustn't complain all the time. Just start from where you are. Do the best you know you can do. Look up to God and keep praying, and definitely success will come your way. This is my own part. I'm doing mine. What about you? On behalf of Production Crown, I want to say thank you so very much. We can do the same time next week, God's willing. Please let us pray for our leaders and pray for our nation. This is the only country we can call our own, and this is Nigeria. God bless you.